Good morning, my dear students. Welcome to the second year degree class, English literature class. Now, this semester, you have two core papers. One is appreciating prose. Last year you have studied appreciating poetry, and this time you have appreciating prose. And this paper I will be doing exclusively. 4 hours are there for this paper, and I will complete the session. And there is another paper that will be done by Sister Princey and Miss Darley, and 5 hours are allotted for them. It is a paper on grammar. This week itself, they also will be beginning with a portion. But the text is not yet available for both the papers. But I have, or we teachers have, the name of the collection. We know the individual lessons in the collection. And so we will be discussing all the lessons one by one. As the title of the paper suggests, we will be studying prose this semester in my paper, Appreciating Prose. And you know that what is prose? Prose is something spoken or written in a non-metrical language. And so, when you hear the name prose, remember it includes biographies, autobiographies, newspaper articles, essays, then interviews, and so on. And you have different sessions or different extracts from great writers. The first lesson is by Francis Bacon, the great essayist. You know that Francis Bacon is called the prince among the English essayists. And again, you have a chapter, a lesson from Arundhati Roy. You have a lesson from G.K. Chesterton. You have a public speech by Camus, then a prose lesson by Charles Lamb, and another one by Usha Yeshudasan, and so on. That is, you are getting different types of prose lesson. You will study essay, you will study public speech, you will study interview, biography, autobiography, and so on. And so we will be doing the lessons one by one. And I think the first one in the collection, as I have mentioned earlier, is an essay by the great English essayist Sir Francis Bacon. And today I will introduce you to the essayist. I will tell you something about his biographical details. Francis Bacon he was born in 1561 as the 5th son of Sir Nicholas Bacon, the Lord Keeper. And even when Bacon was a small child, he showed unusual interest in learning. He was very bright and an intelligent student at school. At the age of 13, he joined the University of Cambridge. But after 3 years, he left the university because he cannot adjust with the English education provided in the university, or he was strongly against the educational system in England in those days. And protesting against the pattern, he came out of the university. But later he joined for law and he became a lawyer. There was always his father, Sir Nicholas Bacon, to support him. But after the death of his father, he was supported by his uncle Lord Burleigh. But very soon, Bacon became hostile towards his uncle because they have great difference of opinion in political matters. During those days, people used to accuse Bacon as an opportunist. And to a certain extent, he was an opportunist. And Sir Francis Bacon, he became friends with his uncle's enemy, Earl of Essex. And the Earl of Essex supported him. And when King James I came to power, Bacon tried to please the king. But the king was not at all interested in Bacon, even though Bacon has proved himself to be an intellectual stalwart. But Bacon was able to please the king's favorite Buckingham, and he became the Solicitor General. And when he was the Solicitor General, he marries a woman called Alice Burnham. They lived together for 15 years and later they got separated till the end of their life. And then again, Bacon was very, very ambitious. He was always craving for new positions. And he was ready for hard work also. And finally, he became the Attorney General and then the Lord Chancellor. And he became the Viscount General of St. Albans. Thus, Bacon, he became the Lord Chancellor. He was in good positions in life. But there were some blemishes in his character which people used to point out. One thing is that, as I have mentioned earlier, he was an opportunist. And the second thing is that Bacon was caught for bribery, for receiving bribe. And finally, he was imprisoned and put in the jail, but later released by King James I. And he was very extravagant. He used to spend money very lavishly, and so he was always in debt. People used to point out these blemishes in his character. Even though I have mentioned it, we needn't be worried about it. We consider him as a great essayist. We consider him as a great writer, and we will enjoy his prose lessons. And the first lesson in the collection of studies, I will not be doing it today, but I will just give you a small introduction to Bacon's writing. And I will explain to you what is an essay. And in the coming sessions, we will be dealing with of studies by Bacon in detail. And what is an essay? I told you that we will be studying an essay as the first lesson. Then what is an essay? Actually, essay, the word comes from the original word essaya. It's a French word. Montaigne was the person to use the name for the first time. In the French word essaya means a trial or an attempt. And so an essay is a trial or an attempt by an author. An author will be presenting things from his perspective. He will be presenting things from his point of view. And for an essay, you are free to use a formal style or an informal style. And so, essay comes from the French word essaya, means trial or attempt. And so the author, the essayist, is trying to make an attempt to convey some idea that he has in mind about some important, about some point. And so, an essayist will be describing things from his perspective. It is his account of the things or what he feels. It is something purely personal. And for an essay, you can adopt either a formal style or an informal style. And then, before beginning with Bacon's essays, you should note some specialities of his writing, some peculiarities. First of all, the spelling. When we go through the lesson, you will realize it. You will see the spelling, the grammar, the pronunciation of Bacon is different from the modern English. That the student should understand. The reader should understand. And so, spelling may be different, meaning may be different, pronunciation may be different in Bacon from the modern English. And then you will see a special style adopted by Bacon. He uses a terse, aphoristic style. And critics say that he uses an epigrammatic style. That is, he uses short sentences brimming with meaning. Remember, this is another speciality of his writings. When you go through the lesson, you will notice that the sentences are short, but every sentence conveys a world of meaning. Or essence is packed up in these sentences. Meaning is packed up. And he uses similes and other figures of speech in his prose. And plenty of worldly wisdom is contained in his essays. You will see his philosophy in his writings. And another important thing is that he uses Latin words and phrases. That shows his scholarship. And again, critics say that Bacon had a feeling that Latin will be there for a longer period than English language, or he has more appreciation for Latin. He was a scholar, and so he could use Latin well. In every essay or almost in all his essays, you will see Latin phrases and so on. These are the main features or the mains about the style. I told you he uses an epigrammatic aphoristic style. Then the usage of Latin words and phrases. And some critics say that it adds to the obscurity to the writings. But the prose lessons by Bacon, they are excellent, no doubt. And the first one, that is of studies, it is about reading. See, he explains what are the advantages of studies, what is the advantage of reading books. And from the first line itself, without any other introduction, he plunges into the topic. And he says that studies serve for delight, ornament, and ability. This is the first line. Studies serve for delight, ornament, and ability. A small sentence, but it contains much meaning. He says that if you are a learned man, it gives you, or if you are interested in reading books, you will be getting lot of pleasure. Especially if you are a person leading a retired life or a lonely life, books will be the best companions. And then he says that studies will be like an ornament to an educated person. We use ornaments to beautify us. Similarly, the reading habit will be like an ornament to our personality. And then he says that studies will increase your ability efficiency. That is, if you are having a good reading habit, you will be having an average knowledge of everything under the sky. And you will be confident to talk, converse, discuss with others. That improves your efficiency, and that will help you to deal with the everyday dealings of the life. And then he goes on discussing the different uses of studies. Then he says about the different types of people, their attitude towards learning. And finally, he says that actually studies have a curative effect. Just as physical exercises keep your body healthy and fit, our reading habit will improve your mental health and keeps you agile, healthy, and active. And more details of the chapter I will be discussing in the next session tomorrow. In the meanwhile, you can read the essay online, take the essay collections of Francis Bacon, then read the essay of studies. It is a short one, but very good, an excellent prose lesson. And you will be getting the ideas of Bacon about studies, about reading habit, about reading books. And then we will discuss the lesson in detail in the next class. I hope that when you come tomorrow, before you come tomorrow to attend my class, you will read the essay, you will read the biography, or at least something about Sir Francis Bacon.